37. Number 37, YouTube Live yoga routine. And before we begin, I'm going to read from this book. What does it say? Stop Complaining, Start Thinking by J.P. Vaswani. And it's just about recognizing, the part that I'm reading right now is recognizing things that we take for granted and that we should be, or we should feel appreciation for. Something as simple as someone having a cheerful smile when you walk into, say, Walmart or into work. And the part I was reading says, go up to people, reach out to praise them, thank them, appreciate them for what they have done, and you will really make a difference. So when I read that, I thought, okay, today, what I'm going to do, when I go out today, and I'll probably go to Walmart today because I have to buy some food for the kids. See, I have kids, so I can feed them. So when I go out today, and I know it's their job, but if they smile, if somebody smiles at me, I'm going to go up to the person and I'm just going to thank them. That will put positivity in the air. It will allow them to feel positive, and it'll make me aware of the subtle movements, the subtle actions of others that I just take for granted. And sometimes I walk by people, they smile, and I'm going to go like that, or like this. But I'm going to appreciate it more. The first person and two people. I mean, I'm not going to do it to everyone. That would end up being weird, right? If I did it. Everyone that smiled at me. So maybe the first person, first two people. And the door greeter at Walmart is going to smile. Not all the time, but so that's their job. But I'm still going to say it to that person, and then someone in the store or wherever else I go. I won't tell everyone my day. So today we're going to do 2 slow sun salutations, and I'm going to add variations in them. I'm going to add the pigeon, the plank, and the high lunge in each one of them. And we're just going to stay in them, in the plank, the main one, for 30 seconds. And we're going to do that in each sun salutation. So we'll begin with the mountain pose, go into the sun salutations, moving slowly, focusing on the breathing, settling in the poses, accepting where you are in the pose. So you settle in the pose, accept it, because that's the mindset that you're trying to gain. Acceptance, non-judgment. No matter where you're at, you settle in it, focus on the breathing, and let the mind and body become one. And that is yoga, oneness. So then we'll go into mountain pose, and we'll close it up at that time. That'll take about 24 minutes, 25 minutes. So let's go to mountain pose. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time to the floor. Knees are slightly bent. Hips are tilted. No tension in the arms, so the arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Awareness is on the breathing, focusing on the breathing, and think of yourself as being tall. So lengthen up. And in the mountain pose, you're trying to find that spot where the skeleton's just standing. No tension anywhere, the skeleton's just standing. I bring the palms together, thumbs go to the heart center, and my hands will disappear in the camera, but when I go up, I'm just keeping it in the prayer. I go out a little bit, but keep it in the prayer. If you like, go like this, whatever you like to do. Now push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. Exhale, as you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back, fall into the ragdoll. So with the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, the head is dangling, no tension anywhere. Focusing on the breathing. Remember, the breathing is the link that allows the mind and body to become one, which is yoga. So no matter how the pose looks, if your mind and body is connecting, you're doing yoga. The palms go to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs, arch the back, raise the head, inhale. Exhale, as you exhale, you pull yourself in, foreheads go to the knees. So you pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. And again, inhale, arch the back, raise the head. Then exhale, push all the air out, pull yourself in and down. And again, arch the back, raise the head, inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. The palms to the sides of the feet, left leg is back into a low lunge. With the low lunge, the top of the foot's to the floor, knees to the floor. Square up the hips, pushing them forward and diagonally. Back is straight, maybe arch. You need to go to the fingers, you go to the fingers, or go to the palms. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Now with the high lunge, curl the toes under with the back foot, knee goes up, make the leg as straight as you can. So in the pose, accept where you are. You might have to go to your fingers and just focus on the breathing. For me, I'm a little tight. I should go to my fingers. But I'm staying down a little bit, accepting it, accepting where I am, and just focusing on the breathing. Now, we're going to do the pigeon. So you're going to bring the right foot over to the left side. It's a foot down from the hand. About a foot down from the hand. You're going to get there how you have to. So it's about a foot down from the hand. You might have to lengthen up some. So that means the back foot goes back further, lengthening up. Fall on top of the leg. And in this pose, you're not pushing down. You're just falling into it, accepting where you go. And you square up the hips, so the hips are still square. You're not leaning, or you're not leaning if you can help it. I didn't know what to say, so just accept where you are and focus on the breathing. Then you bring yourself up. So your arms go straight, and you're kind of doing a scoop. So you're pushing diagonally. And this is your back. So you're pushing, squaring up the hips, pushing, arms are straight, dropping the head back. And just do the best you can, focusing on the breathing. Accept where you are physically. That's what you're learning, acceptance. Essentially, that's allowing you to accept who you are, what's going on. That gives you a base of where you are. You're not trying to be somewhere, you're not trying to control anything, letting that type of mindset go. Now, we're going to go back to the high lunge. So get there how you have to. So with the back foot, toes curl under, right foot goes up between the hands. We're not going to stay in the high lunge. We're just going to settle here. Then move into the downward dog. Pushing into it. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Tailbones go to the ceiling. Heels towards the floor. No tension in the neck, so the head is dangling. You're going to slide into the upper dog or modify it how you have to. So you're dropping down to the knees and the chest. You slide up. Technically, with the upper dog, tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. If you need to modify it, you go down to a small cobra. It doesn't matter. It's where you are. That's what you do. So there's no pressure on the hands. The hands may be touching the floor, but you're using your back muscles to pull up. Or just modify it how you have to. Now, we're going to go back to the downward dog real quick. Settle here. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Heels are towards the floor. I just need to pull up my stopwatch. I don't even know if they call it the stopwatch anymore. Tailbones to the ceiling. Now you're going to go into a plank. Now modify the plank how you have to. You need to go down to the knees. That's what you do. But whatever you're doing in the plank, the belly button's going into the spine. So you're engaging the abs. Not really sucking the abs in. You're just tightening them, bringing the belly button into the spine. So we have 10 seconds. We're just doing 30 seconds. Then back to downward dog. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling. Heels are towards the floor. No tension in the neck. Now you're going to bring the left foot up between the hands into a low lunge. Low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Square up the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Back is straight, or maybe arched. If you need to go to the fingers, you go to the fingers or bring the palms down. And you're just settling the pose, find where you are, accept it, and focus on the breathing. For me, for example, right now, I'll loosen up in a little bit, but right now I can only, I could go down, but that's pushing. I'm trying to let go of the mindset of control. Like I'm not going to try to control. So this is where I am. Eventually I'll get down here. Hopefully, maybe not. And I accept that. That's where I am. And I just focus on the breathing, allowing the mind and body to become one. And you may be up like this, or you may be doing the so-called perfect pose. It doesn't matter, as long as the mind and body is connecting. So with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up into a high lunge. Settle in the high lunge. Focus on the breathing. Let the mind and body become one. Now for the pigeon, left foot goes over to the right side. Get it over there how you have to. is a foot down from the hand. You might have to lengthen up. That means scoot the foot back, the right foot back. Flatten the foot in the back. You fall in to the pigeon. Square up the hips. You're trying not to roll. Just go straight down, accept where you are. You're not pushing into it. You're letting go of that mindset of trying to be somewhere. That's what you're learning on the yoga mat. Just accept where you are and focus on the breathing. Then you can bring yourself up, arms straight. You're kind of doing a scoop. This is your back. You're doing your scoop. So my elbows, the hips. So you're pushing forward. Head is going back. Do the best you can. Square up the hips. Make sure the hips are square as you can get them. Set where you are. Focus on the breathing. Now we're going to go into the high lunge. So get there how you have to. A lot of times the best way is to get out of the stretch first. So you're not going right from the stretch into the next pose. Just for injury, to prevent injury. So we're not going to stay in the high lunge, but we settle here. Then we move into the standing forward bend. So palms are to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down. And just focus on the breathing. Now palms together, reach out, up and back. Inhale. Exhale. Push all the air down and out. Inhale. Exhale. Hinge forward from the lower back. Pull yourself in and down. Set where you are and focus on the breathing. Now palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back again. So that's the one we took back the first time into a low lunge. So with the low lunge, with the back foot, top of the foot's to the floor, knees to the floor. Think of the hips, square them up, pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight. Well, the back may be arched a little bit. That's fine too. Whatever you can do, that's what you do. Just focus on the breathing. Now think of the back foot, curl the toes under into a high lunge. That means the knees off the floor, get the leg as straight as you can, and just accept where you are and focus on the breathing. Now for the pigeon, right foot goes over to the left side as the foot down from the hand. Lengthen up, so with the back foot, flatten the foot. Fall on top of the leg. Square up the hips, make sure you're not rolling. Settle in the pose. Accept where you are and focus on the breathing. Bring yourself up, arms go straight. Again, this is my back, or your back. Pushing the elbows, the hips, so square them up, pushing, head is dropping back. Probably a bad example because the back is a little too straight with my forearm, but that's all I got to work with, man. And just focus on the breathing. In this pose, just accept where you are. Like all the poses, just accept where you are. Let the mind and body become one. Let go of judgment. Let go of trying to be somewhere. Let go of the mindset of control. Now, we're going to go into the high lunge. We're not going to stay in the high lunge. We come out of the stretch a little bit. Curl the toes under in the back, and then get there how you have to. So, right foot is between the hands. Settle here. Then, downward dog. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Tailbone to the ceiling. You're just getting to that point where you feel like, hey, I can go a little bit more. So just push a little bit more. If you feel like you should. If not, don't do it. Just accept where you are. Focus on the breathing. Let the mind and body become one. You're going to slide into the upper dog or modify it how you have to. Drop down to the knees and the chest. You slide up. Or do small cobra, whatever you have to do. Maybe you're just on your hands and knees. Settle wherever you are, accept wherever you are, and just focus on the breathing. Then we're going to go back to the downward dog. We're not going to stay in the downward dog long. Just stretching out some. Arms straight, legs straight. I need to pull up my stopwatch. And then you're going to go into the plank. Again, go to your knees if you have to. Or just do this if you have to. But whatever you're doing, the belly button's going into the spine. Still letting yourself breathe. We have 10 more seconds. Then downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Tailbones going to the ceiling, heels towards the floor. I'm going to go to a low lunge. So the left foot is up between the hands. Low lunge, top the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Square up the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Palms are to the floor. Maybe your fingers. Settle where you can settle. Just accept where you are and focus on the breathing. I know I keep on repeating that. I'm well aware that I keep on repeating that, but it's very important. You're learning acceptance. Now with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up into a high lunge. Settle into the pose. I was going to say settle where, but it kind of doesn't make sense. So settle in the pose, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Now you're going to go to the pigeon. So the left foot goes over to the right side. It's a foot down from the hand. Get there how you have to. I keep on touching the wall. That's why I'm scooting up. So fall into the pose. Square up the hips. Make sure you're not rolling to the side, or as much as you can, don't roll to the side. Try not to. And just accept where you are. And focus on the breathing. Go up, arms are straight. And here you're kind of pushing up. Hips are still square. Back is arched and you're pushing diagonally. Just like the low lunge. And then you're just focusing on the breathing. For me, I know I'm not doing the pose perfectly, or the textbook pose, or what you would think the pose, what you think the pose would look like if it was done perfectly. But for me, it is perfect. And if you're modifying the pose, it's perfect for you. And you're just accepting it and just focusing on the breathing. Now, we're going to go to the high lunge. So with the back foot, curl the toes under. Knees off the floor. Get there how you have to. So left foot is up between the hands. So here, we're not going to stay here. Just focus on the breathing. Then you're going to move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. And just focus on the breathing. Arms together, reach out, up and back, inhale, exhale. And then you're going to go to mountain pose. Remember, mountain pose, toes are up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time. To the floor, knees are slightly bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Lengthen up, so make yourself tall. And just focus on the breathing. Bring the palms together, thumbs to heart center, and namaste. And that's it. That's 2 slow sun salutations. Now, if you feel it in your lower back a little bit, you can do the after or before you do the extended child pose. Then you can even go to the side, stay there, 20 counts, 30 counts, then move over 20, 30 counts. That's if you feel it in your lower back. Or you can just move on. That's sort of what the standing forward bend is. I mean, it's not the child pose, but you're thinking of the back. You're stretching the back there. But that all comes with time of where to go. If you're feeling in your lower back, one, you could have an injury, or it's just tight, so you feel it no matter how you move. Or you're going into the poses a little further than you should be. And that's fine too. It's all a process. You're learning where you're at. Just try to prevent injury. Believe it or not, those subtle movements could, because you're thinking they're real easy, and then boop, you get injured. So Anyway, so that's the 37th YouTube Live yoga routine. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time. So namaste, peace and love.